Welcome everybody back to another new comic book weekly. Looks like we're live. So yeah, let's get into it. So today we're talking about, of course, the weekly comic book pull list. As you guys can see, we have 10 pulls that we're going to talk about. Pretty large week, all things considered. So we're going to get into that. We also have some comic book reviews. Not a lot came out last week. It was a fifth Wednesday, so not a ton of things to review this week, but we do have some big hitters like Ultimate Endgame we'll review, and then also Escape issue 5, an indie series out of Image Comics I've been loving. And then also we've got the Ultimates 19 to talk about. And then to close us out, the big topic of today is talking about all of the brand new series that are starting in March. Sorry, not in March. Starting in January for 2025. So the brand new 2025 January series, and also some of the one shots that are coming out as well. And yeah, so let's get into it. If you guys have any questions, of course, any comic book related questions, leave them in the chat. Also, if you guys have any, reviews or any things that you guys are pulling for New Comic Book Weekly, or if you guys have any number one issues that you want to talk about, be sure to leave them down in the comments and we'll be sure to get to them. But let's start off with that pull list because, like I was saying, for the week of January 7th, New Comic Book Day, we have 10 pulls for a total of $46.90. $46.96. $46.90, dude. Jeez, can't talk today. The pick of the week, as we're looking through, a lot of Absolute Universe stuff. DCKO is still going. Batman also has a release tomorrow. I think the pick of the week, though, has got to be Absolute Superman issue number 15. Just incredible stuff in this Jason Aaron written series. I've been loving it all the way throughout. Loving that sad boy Superman kind of vibe. Derek Seaborn in the chat says, "Hey, what's up? What's up, Derek? Thanks for joining." And yeah, so Absolute Superman number 15. We know that this one is going to be featuring the brand new super suit that he got in the last arc. So really excited about that. Seeing how Juan Ferreira kind of takes this kind of look and runs with it. Obviously, still written by Jason Aaron, but got that Juan Ferreira on the guest art spot. So that's pretty cool. It says this is going to be a day in the life of Absolute Superman. In the shocking aftermath of the Battle of Kansas, Superman wrestles with profound changes to his life, his allies, and even his costume. But more importantly, there's work to be done as we experience the day in the life of the world's busiest superhero and welcome guest artist Juan Ferreira to the series. If you guys didn't catch that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle written series, with Juan Ferreira doing the art, Jason Aaron was writing that one. Yeah, definitely check that stuff out. 1 through 12, really great TMNT stuff there. But yeah, that's got to be the pick of the week. Absolute Superman 15, seeing that new suit and just more exploration of the Absolute Universe world. Next up, we got Batman number 5. Looks like this one says the Ojo strikes. I'm not sure if this is a potentially a new villain, but it looks like it's a night out with Bruce Wayne goes off the rails immediately for Dr. Annika Zeller. It seems her experimental crown of storms has marked her for death, and if they survive the legendary Triple O gang, they'll still have to confront the sinister assassin known as the Ojo. Interesting what's going on here with the Matt Fraction written Batman series. We still have the art from Jorge Jimenez, of course. Looks like we also get a little bit of lettering from Jorge. That's pretty cool. But yeah, man, just continuing this awesome Batman written series, or this, you know, this Matt Fraction written Batman series. But I think it's off to a really great start. 5 issues in, really fun, and loving all of the variant covers we're getting as well. But just the idea of a little Bruce Wayne, little date night goes wrong. That could be a fun setup for an issue. So Batman number 5, greatly anticipating this one. Chewy Queso saying yo yo in the chat. Paul Dev in the chat as well saying can't wait for the Arc M special. Funny you mentioned that. That's the next thing I want to talk about. Into Arc M, the origins of the enigmatic. Can't say that one. It's a tough one. Enigmatic Arc M are explored. What terrible secrets lies within its walls, and just who is assigned to protect it from discovery. So we know the Arc M. Obviously, Batman was captured down in there for a little bit. That's where Bane does a lot of his experiments, right? We got Derek Seaborn saying, "I'm loving Batman right now. I'm liking the main Batman title, but Absolute Batman has got my attention as well." So excited about this one. It looks like the artist is going to be Josh Hickson. And if you guys aren't familiar with Josh Hickson, he's the one who did the art for The Deviant, written by James Tynion IV. I love Josh Hickson's work. I collect some of his variant covers as well. Good buddy of mine. Not to get like, sometimes at cons we hang out, you know what I'm saying? So me and Josh are good buddies, but I think that it's really cool that Josh is doing he's joining the Absolute Universe as one of the artists. So I think it's really, really cool. Written by Scott Snyder. We know that Scott Snyder and Josh Hickson have worked together in the past quite often. So yeah, man, Josh Hickson getting introduced into the Arc M special into the Absolute Universe. So shout out to Josh. That's pretty cool. And yeah, so those are the three kind of biggest pickups in my opinion. But let's continue with Absolute Green Lantern. In theory, this won't be on my poll. I don't think the last one was. I'll have to catch this on DC Universe Infinite. In fact, maybe I should take it off my poll. It feels weird doing this because I like to know when it's coming out. That way I know when to read the last issue on DC Universe Infinite. I'm actually going to keep it on there. Next up, though, let's talk about Ultimate Wolverine, issue number 13. Into the Maker's War. Wolverine hunts down the Maker's Council and the Maker himself on the horizon. It's time to exact revenge on the ones who turned his life into a living nightmare. Wolverine's journey through the endgame starts here. So still written by Chris Condon. You don't get that, Capuccio on the art. That's all right. And yeah, just whatever Ultimate Wolverine is up to in the Ultimate Endgame event, we'll be finding out. So this is a pretty cool cover, though. We see the Maker kind of moving everybody around like chess pieces. If you guys can see that there. And I thought the last issue of Ultimate Wolverine was really good. I think the series on a pretty nice kind of uptick. Some really good stuff going on over there from Chris Condon. So I'm excited about Ultimate Wolverine issue number 13. I thought that, obviously when we get into the reviews of Ultimate Endgame here in a second, and when we review the Ultimates as well, I think that everything going on in the Ultimate Universe is pretty sick right now. So yeah, we'll get into it, but pretty excited about the Ultimate Wolverine series. Next up, let's talk about, we can talk about this one. DCKO wrong button. DCKO Night Fight. So we know that Batman is kind of dealing with these alternate versions of Batman. Like we have the Jason Todd all grown up. We have the Dick Grayson all grown up as well. I don't know if there's going to be any introduction to other kind of Batmen into the story. But I think that the Night Fight stuff's pretty fun. It's pretty interesting. It's not like the craziest, like compelling stuff of all time. You do get that really fun Dan Mora on the artwork though. And yeah, just all the, it's questions that have probably been asked of Batman in the past. Like, I don't know, just all the different personalities of all the Robins and stuff like that. We've seen this time and time again, but I think it's pretty fun for the DCKO event. And I'm liking Night Fight as far as a tie-in. I think it's pretty strong. Next up, let's talk about the Batgirl series. So it says Batgirl number 15, Cassandra Cain's darkest hour. Batgirl's journey towards vengeance reaches its peak as her relationship begins to crumble. Nisa Al Ghul's plans come to light, and they may doom the city she claims to protect, pushing Batgirl to her darkest hour yet. We have a guest artist on this one, but we still get Tate Bromble. I think he's been killing it with the Batgirl series. Although I do gotta say, it's definitely not, the series is not at its peak. I mean, that first arc was so sick. We're kind of waiting to get back to that first arc. But 15 issues in, I think it's a great series out of DC for sure. And yeah, just loving the Cassandra Cain kind of spotlight that she's been getting over at DC. And I think Tate Bromble has really been, he's an artist to, or he's a comic book writer to watch as we head into 2026 for sure. He's jumping on the new Teen Titans titles. That's pretty fun. And yeah, so Tate Bromble, just some more fun Cassandra Cain goodness out of that series. The Question, Batman, Green Arrow, The Question, Arcadia. Now, I will admit, I wasn't the biggest fan of this one when it came out. I thought that issue 1 was alright. It's not like my favorite. I don't even know. Like, it's not my favorite. It's kind of like wordy and I don't know. Wasn't my favorite. I guess maybe I was in a bad headspace when I read it. Maybe it could, have a reread, probably benefit it. But I wasn't the biggest fan of issue number 1. I thought it was cool that it's the Gabriel Hardman. He's doing the art and the writing, and that's pretty cool. Very sort of Silver Age inspired, I guess. So if you're into that, definitely check this out if you're into kind of the classic Question, the classic Green Arrow kind of vibes. And yeah, just maybe not a series for me. So we're gonna give it a shot with issue number 2. It's a DC Black Label series. I tend to like those, and yeah, we'll give this one another shot for sure because I like the art. The art was super sick from Gabriel Hardman. Kind of like the cover here, like really really detailed stuff. So yeah, man, we're gonna give that another shot. Wasn't a fan of issue number 1 though. Next up, we got JSA number 15. Year 1 continues. This is a Jeff Lemire written series with Gavin Guidry on the art. He is joining Ryan North for the new era of the Flash, like when that starts up, when Ryan North joins it. I have not been reading JSA ever since they started their year 1 arc. Got to catch it on DC Universe Infinite, but it's still here on my pull list, I get. For the same reason as the Absolute Green Lantern. Like, I just don't want to take it off because I don't know when to read the other one that comes out on the app. Anyways, the last pull for New Comic Book Day, January 7th, is The Adventures of Superman Book of L, issue number 5. Just another kind of entry into the Philip Kennedy Johnson Superman saga. I think it's really sick. And I'm loving kind of what's going on with this title right now. It's a continuation of the War World stuff from Philip Kennedy Johnson. Gosh, what was that? 2 years ago now? 2.5, 3 years ago. But yeah, so Philip Kennedy Johnson just continuing with this fun Superman kind of corner of DC. And yeah, we're continuing with issue number 5. Derek Seaborn says Jeremy Adams Flash was peak. I love Jeremy Adams Flash, man. That was my first ever Flash run pulling. I was having so much fun with it. When Jeremy Adams left the title, that definitely was a blow because then you got Cy Spurge jumping on. It was all right, but yeah, that Jeremy Adams stuff was super sick. So that's my pull list, though, guys. If we're talking the pulls for January 7th, New Comic Book Day, technically it says 10 here, right? But we're not going to be pulling Absolute Green Lantern, and we're not going to be pulling JSA. So I guess technically it's like 8 comic books for a total of, I don't know, like $38 or something like that. So looking forward to New Comic Book Day, January 7th. As always, let me know what you guys are picking up down in the comments. I'd be super curious, especially to know what your pick of the week is. Because like I was saying, mine's got to be Absolute Superman number 15. Well, if that was the pull list for the week, let's get into some comic book reviews. Like I was saying, we only have 3 things to review. And then, of course, after this, we'll get into the new comic book series that are starting in January, starting this month, 2026. But let's do some comic book reviews first. Marcus Longioni says Batman 5 is a must for me. I don't blame you there as far as your pick of the week. I think the Batman stuff has been really sick from Matt Fraction. Set the Tech says, hey, haven't had time to come to the stream, but happy that I can today. What's up, Set the Tech? Thanks for joining. Yeah, I did this at like a weird time. I know it's not like the best time for everybody, but it's like the time that works best for me. You know what I mean? I was thinking about moving this to Sunday. So potentially like a Sunday morning type of stream. But when Monday afternoon just works so well for me. So unfortunately, I get it if it doesn't work for you guys. But thanks for joining anyways, man. Really appreciate it. So yeah, let's talk about some of the comic books that came out last week that I want to give quick reviews to. We got 3 of them. Let's start off with, wrong button. Let's start off with Ultimate Endgame number 1. So I guess that maybe some people messed up, but I guess you had to read Ultimate Endgame first before you read the Ultimates number 19, because something happens in the Ultimates Endgame that they kind of pick up on in Ultimates number 19. So if you read them out of order, sorry, dude, that kind of sucks. But we know that the Maker, this entire time, it's been kind of building up. The Maker is going to escape. The Maker is in the city for 2 years, and as soon as those 2 years are over, like we gotta start working, because when the Maker's out, I mean, he's going to be out and he's going to be pissed, right? So we know that this has been coming for the longest time. This is kind of obviously it's the first part of the event, but it is the members of the Ultimates teaming up with you got Ultimate Spider-Man here, kind of discussing like what the plan's going to be. Hey, we're going to get there right when the Maker City opens, and we have this plan that we're going to try, and we'll see how it goes. So we see that group is like waiting there. We know the rest of the Ultimates are kind of spread out around the globe fighting the Maker's Council. It is pretty interesting to see not, the full team ready to go when the Maker's coming out of the city. And there's some interesting things going on with the city itself. So we'll probably get into that, further on into the event. Kind of a weird twist where it turns out the maker is, I don't know, is he still the maker? And if you read it, you guys know what I'm talking about. But I thought this was a solid issue. It's just Ultimate Endgame. I mean, it's the event of the Marvel Universe right now, and we know that the Ultimate Universe is potentially coming to an end. This is like a must-read comic. It wasn't like the best thing I've ever read, right? But I do think it's off to a great start with this Ultimate Endgame. Let's get into Ultimates number 19 though. This one was interesting because, like I was saying, there's something that happens in Ultimate Endgame that this carries off on. I guess it's not. I guess I can't really hide the spoiler. It's right on the front. But the Ultimate's like main base, it gets all blown up by Nick Fury because we know that he's working for the Makers Council, and we know that when was this revealed? It was probably the Ultimate Universe 1 year in, I think. We knew that one of the characters in the Ultimates team is sort of, I mean, backstabbing, that they're working for the enemy. It's the longest time it turns out that this Wasp character has been working for Nick Fury. And yeah, man, it's just kind of she's doing it for her own reasons, but it really has a drastic effect on the team and their mission, and potentially to her husband, which she's trying to keep out of the line of fire. But hey, listen, you're working with the maker. I mean, you're working with the Makers Council. Of course, they're gonna backstab you in the back, right? So yeah, just kind of tragic to see what happens to this Wasp character, and something crazy happens to Nick Fury, and you get an introduction into the Ultimate Vision character. So there's a lot of moving parts in this Ultimates universe, but I think that we're in a really good place right now. Unfortunately, it's kind of that thing where if you haven't been reading it and you're trying to jump on, it's like impossible. I mean, we're in the middle of an event right now, so you can't really just jump on. It's kind of for the people that have been reading this whole time. Chewy Queso says, I wish the other Absolute titles had specials, annuals, or one offs. That's a good point, Chewy. I think that maybe is Absolute Wonder Woman getting a special or like an annual? But you're right. Like it should be more of a common thing, like to have all these one shots and stuff. Like we had the Absolute Evil one shot and stuff like that. But I know exactly what you're talking about. Like I want more looks at the Absolute universe, like 1,000%. So yeah, kind of wish it had more specials and annuals. LD Wheeling says, "Yo, hey, what's up, LD? Thanks for joining." Set the Text says, "What's your most anticipated comic of 2026?" Funny you mentioned that. I have a video planned where I'm going to be talking about kind of just as we're heading into 2026, exactly that. What are my most anticipated comics? Like, for like the future, and maybe stuff that's an ongoing that has been coming out, but just stuff that I'm just the most excited about heading into 2026. So check out that video when it's up. It'll probably be probably like next Friday, I think. But yeah, most anticipated comic, it's got to be the stuff with the Absolute Universe. I mean, Image has a lot of cool stuff coming out too. But as far as like the stuff that's upcoming, it's got to be the Absolute Universe, and it's got to be DC's Vertigo as well. I'm really excited about. They have like 10 Vertigo titles announced for next year. I think I'm excited, like literally excited for like 7 out of 10. Like I'm just gonna buy on site. There's three that like I'm not as familiar with, like the creators, or maybe the kind of concepts sound okay, but there's like 7 out of 10 Vertigos that I just either love the creator or the kind of scenarios and setups sound really, really interesting. That's what I would say for my most anticipated comics of the year. Let's talk about Escape. Escape issue, wrong button again. Escape issue number 5. So listen, this was excellent. If you guys aren't reading Escape, you're really missing out. It's one of the best Image comics of the year. I mean, as soon as I flip, you get this great artwork from Daniel Acuna. In this one, we had one of the villains. He was kind of coming in, and he was kind of being like a Christoph Waltz character in Inglourious Bastards. He's looking for our character Milton, just kind of poking around with his kind of with his boys or whatever, and they're poking around the apartment that Milton has been hiding out in. We know that in the last issue is kind of like a breather, but the guy that Milton has been hiding with, he's like, hey, I gotta protect my kids. So you gotta leave, man. Totally understandable, but very tense as we see this. Like I was saying, this Christoph Waltz, just evil kind of character, poking and prodding, and trying to find this Milton character. And then Milton, he's like, okay, cool, I gotta leave. Thanks for holding me up and giving me some supplies. Milton's got to complete his mission. The entire mission is this idea to blow up this really big cannon that they're using to, to win the war. So if Milton and the U.S. the Allies can blow up that cannon, then they can win World War II. And Milton is very driven. That's like his major goal, because he sees it as a way to protect his kid back home, his kid that he doesn't know yet. Kid was just born, and so he like joined the force as like a way to protect his kid, right? So Milton's got to destroy this cannon. He sees this as like a suicide mission. It seems like the base that the cannon is hidden on, as we get into Milton kind of scoping the place out, it is under heavy lock and key. So maybe Milton, he's got to get creative with how he's going to be breaking in and blowing up this cannon. But yeah, man, I've been loving Escape. The excellent artwork from Daniel Acuna. It really is like some of the best artwork on stands. And yeah, I'm just like in love with Acuna's art style. It's excellent stuff, and I think that you guys should all be reading Escape. It's really one of the best indie comics of last year, continuing into this year, of course. And it's written by Rick Remender. So if you guys are trying to get into some Rick Remender stuff, as a indie comic book writer, I mean, he's just on top of the world right now. He's killing it. But then again, like I was saying, the excellent artwork from Daniel Acuna as well. Derek Seaborn says, what's your top anticipated indie comic? I would have to look at what's coming out. I mean, if you're not counting like DC Vertigo stuff, I don't know, dude. Anticipated indie comic? I would have to look at like the number ones that are upcoming. But if it's not, one of those, it's probably just Escape. I mean, that's like my favorite indie comic right now. Power Fantasy, I've been loving. Yeah, a lot of great indie comics. A lot of great indie comics. Southside Ronin said, yo, I made it from Chicago with love, my boy. What's up, Southside Ronin? Thanks for joining, dude. Of course, you got Set the Tech saying, is it just me, or has DC been doing better than Marvel in the comics? I've been saying that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if that's a hot take, but it's a lot for me to pull a Marvel series. Like, you really have to be doing something crazy on it. But yeah, I would say I read a ton more DC. I read a ton of Image as well, right? But DC is just on fire right now, and I much rather read DC comics than Marvel comics for the most part. Omega Slice says most of the Giant Generator stuff kind of hits, dude. Rick Remender is on to something over there, man. Every single one of his ideas are so unique, like the concepts themselves, and yeah, I just been loving Rick Remender stuff. Oh dang, I wish I knew how to say your name, dude. Mars. What's up, Cody? How's it going? I wanted to get your opinion on which series should I add to my pull list. I only got space for one more, and I'm debating between three: Escape, Captain America, and Batman. Dude, those are the three, like, those are three that I add on my pull list before anything else. Those are like those are like some of the top three series right now. Man, that's tough. Out of those three, I would say, I guess if you can't have Escape, you can't squeeze it on, you could trade away Escape. Like, that's going to be a sick trade. I don't think it's going to be a long ongoing series. I imagine it's going to be a nice little, like, 12 issue max, like a little mini, right? So maybe you can wait on Escape. Captain America is really the best series coming out of Marvel, including the Ultimate stuff right now. Captain America is just blowing me away issue after issue. I love what Chip Zdarsky's doing on that. Excellent artwork too from Valerio Schiti, and Batman is excellent too. So that's a tough one, bro. I don't know out of those three. I guess out of those three, I guess I would say Batman because of DC, but Captain America has been really good too. I think technically probably Captain America is better than the Batman series right now. But they're close. They're closer than I make it seem. That's a tough one, bro. Mars, I don't know how to help you out, man. I guess I would say Captain America, but that's tough. Set the Tech says, do I think it's because of DC KO and Absolute? I think it's definitely a big part of it. Like, the DC events, I mean, DC events or whatever, Marvel events or whatever, but I do think DC KO is pretty exciting. And then, yeah, the Absolute Universe, as good as the Ultimate Universe ever could be, right? The Absolute Universe is better. Like, I'm just more into it. It's got more interesting changes. The fact that it's not ending, right? The fact that it's like ongoing, like, that's cool. Yeah, so I think that the Absolute Universe is a big part of it, but even just the main continuity stuff, like, I'd rather, like, they have better artists, in my opinion. They have more, like, Hayden Sherman, right? You don't see Hayden Sherman doing Marvel stuff, right? Hayden Sherman's over on DC. Jorge Jimenez. You got like writers like Mark Waid always doing fun stuff. So I don't know, man. I think that DC is just in a that's actually a subject of another video I've got cooking up where it's a just like what a year, what an era DC is having right now. Um, I think the video is called like the video title I have like rough draft is like DC Comics is DC Comics is having a moment or something like that. So we'll figure it out. But yeah, that's a subject for another video. So definitely stay tuned. Just talking about how awesome DC is doing. Omega Slice is saying, I'm trying to do no new number ones this year as an attempt to nuke my pull list. Can't handle 17 book weeks anymore. That's a lot. That's a lot. I'm in a good place right now where I would say every week max I'm picking up is like 10, which that's probably still more than what you'd want, but it's a pretty good spot for me. Yeah, nuking all your number ones. I mean, that's, and we're gonna get into it, right? We're gonna get into number ones here in a second, talking about some new series and some of the one shots coming out in January 2026. So you guys stay tuned here. I'm just catching up on some comments. Southside Ronin says most anticipated indie Mark Spears Midnight Man. I have no idea. Like I know Mark Spears is an artist, but everybody's like really excited about Mark Spears. Like all the hype around Mark Spears is pretty interesting. I don't know anything about it. So yeah, that the text saying, is there anything you would want to see from Marvel to be able to be a must pull? Yeah, I don't know, dude. It's interesting. It's like if you're not pulling me with whatever's going on with Amazing Spider-Man, right? Like that would be an easy pull for me. But even that, I don't care what's going on. I don't really like there's Spider-Man in space, but Spider-Man down in the Earth or whatever, and it's like, what's going on? It's also bi-weekly, so you save a lot of money not getting Amazing Spider-Man. You save a ton of money. Yeah, I don't know. Marvel, like, I feel like for me, right, if I'm not an X-Men guy, I haven't had my X-Men awakening and really journeyed through and reading a bunch of X-Men stuff. So that's like half of what Marvel puts out is X-Men stuff. So I don't read that. I don't read like symbiote stuff right now. Like I swear to God, there's like a Venom book like every week. Like there's a Null book. I don't care about Null. I don't care about Venom, Carnage, right? Um, so yeah, I would say just like yeah, like if you're not picking up X-Men, it's like what does Marvel even got coming out? You know what I mean? So um also it's like another whole other thing, but there's like too much MCU ification. Like there's too much like because an MCU movie's coming out, they put out like the comic and it like you know that comic's not gonna last long. It's gonna be like a 6 issue thing or whatever. I don't know. As a whole, I'm definitely a DC guy. I definitely have a DC bias. I don't know if you guys can tell. Biggest Barda, which is just an awesome name, by the way. Biggest Barda, that's awesome. Says, what next level books from what next level books do you think will be limited? I'm having a tough time deciding if I should add Batwoman, Lobo, Deathstroke, or Flash. I loved Spurrier's run, but skipped KO. I think that the Flash is going to be an ongoing for sure because I think that's just the way the Flash has been. They might switch up the creative teams, but it's been an ongoing. The new number ones, like you're saying, so like Batwoman, Lobo, Deathstroke. I don't know if they've said if their ongoings are limiteds. I don't know. I don't know. It might be. It might be how they've done things in the past, right? They'll come out and they'll say, "Hey, this new series from DC, it'll start out as a mini, like it'll give you 6 issues, and then after that they'll expand it." So we've seen that happen with actually Absolute Martian Manhunter. That was originally supposed to be 6 issues, quickly got expanded to 12 though. Stuff like Ron V Swamp Thing, like back in the day, like when I was pulling that, it got extended like in the middle of when I was reading. I was like, oh crap, this is great. So yeah, it just I'm not sure what the DC next level kind of plan is. I don't know if they're going for like 12 issues for all three of those, Batwoman, Lobo, Deathstroke, and then after that they can expand, or if they'll just be 12 issues. I don't even know if that's been announced yet. Derek Seaborn saying the Spider-Man office needs new editors. People have been saying that for a really long time, and I tend to agree. Just some new, like, fresh blood, some new, fresh ideas, right? Set the Text says, have I read Blue Beetle Graduation? I haven't. I have not. Oh, wait, is that the. Because I know there was 2 Blue Beetle, like, miniseries. Was that the second one or the first one? I've read the first one. Is that Graduation? I think they're coming out with a DC compact of that. Maybe they already have. And I was looking at that. So that might be a good DC compact to pick up. Get some more Blue Beetle in the collection for sure. But yeah, so all caught up on comments to end out today's show. let's talk about some of the issue number ones, whether they be new series or whether they be one shots that are coming out in the month of January. Obviously, we're in January right now, and get you guys ready for new comic book day this Wednesday. We already talked about it when I was talking about my pull list for the week, but the absolute Batman Arc M special, we got artist Josh Hickson coming on. So I really love Josh Hickson's stuff. He's the artist from The Deviant, that horror series from James Tynion IV. And yeah, we're just going to find out more about the Arc M kind of corner of the Absolute Universe. We know that Batman was captured and held in Arc M, and that's where kind of Bane is doing his thing. That's where all the evil stuff's going on in the Absolute Universe, or at least the Absolute Batman side of the equation here. So yeah, Arc M special. Definitely going to be picking that up. That comes out on January 7th, new comic book day. Set the Tech in the chat says, have I read Redcoat? I fell off Redcoat, but I've been trying to keep up with all the Ghost Machine stuff. I think it's good, but not my favorite Ghost Machine title for sure. I'm definitely more of a Geiger kind of guy, you know. Yeah, keeping it pushing, scrolling down, and if I'm scrolling too fast, let me know. If there's something you guys want me to take a look at, definitely let me know. We have the Marvel DC Spider-Boy team up facsimile. Obviously, getting ready for the Superman Spider-Man crossing over later this year. It's the what anniversary? 25th anniversary of this? I don't know when this one came out. 30 years. After almost 30 years, one of the all-time great DC Marvel crossover comic books is boldly represented in its original form, ads and all. Reprinting Spider-Boy Team Up #1. So if you guys are into the Amalgam comics, you might want to pick up this facsimile. That's pretty fun. Set the Tech says, is there a comic that I hated the most? The worst comic I've ever read in my life was a series called Soul Plumber. Soul Plumber was awful. It's like the worst series I've ever read. That's what I would say. That's anytime anyone comes up with like a questions like what comic did you hate the most? That's the first thing that comes to mind. That thing was really kind of weird. Scrolling down, it looks like Dynamite's putting out a Nightmare Before Christmas series, but obviously it's way after Christmas. You guys missed the boat on that one. Scrolling down. We have a new series out of Boom Studios called Alice Forever After from Dan Panosian. I think that Dan Panosian has a really cool art style. He's been writing a lot of stuff, but I don't know too much about what he's been writing. I think he did a series called Peter Pan Ever After. Maybe this is a sequel. Alice. Maybe it's called Alice Never After. I don't know. Anyways, keeping it rolling. We have a Cyberpunk series coming out of Dark Horse. If you guys are into the Cyberpunk world, the Cyberpunk game, definitely check out that comic. What else do we got? Dungeons of Doom. This is from Marvel Comics on January 14th. Written by a whole bunch of people. We got Philip Kennedy Johnson, Benjamin Percy. This is the aftermath of One World Under Doom. I think that this is an anthology series or just a one-shot. An anthology series, potentially, which is pretty weird. There's a labyrinth behind. An explosion sends them all plummeting into a dungeon labyrinth that none of them knew was there. What begins as an arms race becomes a terrifying game of survival. Who, if any, will survive, and what horrors lie within the Dungeons of Doom? If you guys are into the Marvel Universe, you might want to pick this one up. I think, I could be wrong, does that tie into everything that's going on with Chip Zdarsky's Marvel Universe ending? I am not sure. Keeping it rolling. We have a new Null series like I was talking about. Whoopee, if you guys are into the symbiotes and if you guys are symbiote heads and you're really excited about Null, the King's returning, it says. Weakened from his last death, trapped by the enemy he never expected, the God of the Void waits in a cage once again. His captors think Null has nothing to fight back with, but in Null's hands, nothing is a weapon. And there's a greater weapon out there waiting for the King in Black to take it and take his revenge. Al Ewing doing some pretty fun stuff, but I will not be picking this up. Let me know if you're picking it up in the chat, if you're a big Null head out there. People like Null as a villain, but I'm just such not a symbiote guy that it just kind of makes my eyes roll. Logan, Black, White, and Blood. So another one of these black, white sort of art, books that they put out. So Marvel putting out another one focused on Logan, it seems. These are always pretty fun. You get some nice covers coming out of them as well, and usually a lot of different fun creators attached. So just scrolling through, we got Saladin Ahmed, Larry Hama, you got some Adam Kuber on the art, you got some Dave Watcher coming in to do some art. So yeah, man, Logan, Black, White, and Blood. If you are a fan of Marvel Rivals, Luna Snow is getting a series written by Greg Pak. Is that right? Yeah, Greg Pak is writing this one. Luna Snow on an all-new adventure as the world recovers from Doctor Doom's takeover. K-pop star and ice-wielding superhero Luna Snow hits her lowest low yet. So she takes her music into her own hands and hits the road. So yeah, man, if you're into Marvel Rivals and you're into the Luna Snow character, I thought she was pretty fun to play. But yeah, if you're into reading a series all about her, wasn't this a character that was designed like a brand new character for Marvel Rivals? So is this her first comic appearance, or is this like um, her first series probably? Right. So I don't know. I don't know too much about Luna Snow. We got some Mega Man stuff coming out if you're into that. A lot of game tie-ins I'm seeing with South of Midnight. That was an Xbox game earlier in the year. We got some Tomb Raider stuff as well. We were talking about the Black, White, and Blood for Logan. We also have a Wonder Woman Black and Gold 2026 special. Looks like it's written by Tom King, but you also have you got Cliff Chang doing the art for the cover. That's pretty neat. Of course, you have Steve Orlando, Alyssa Wong coming in. You get some Jordi Belair stuff. Jordi Belair writing. That's pretty cool. You don't really see Jordi Belair, usually a colorist, right? I think Jordi wrote maybe I think Jordi Belair wrote an issue of Exquisite Corpses or like helped out on it, I think. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I always like those like one shots. They're pretty fun. Speaking of one shots, we got Archie's Valentine Spectacular. There's a lot of cool Archie stuff coming out. There's like a new slate of Archie series that they're gonna be. I think they're teaming up with Oni Press, I think, and they got a lot of cool creative teams attached to those. But I think I'm waiting for that wave to try out Archie. I'm waiting for that. Definitely not the time with this Valentine special. We also have. Oh wait, jeez, where'd it go? Oh man, I gotta scroll down again. Derek Seaborn in the chat saying, whatever happened to Donny Cates? You know, it's funny you mentioned that. I'm reading a Donny Cates series right now for the first time. I'm reading God Country as one of my trade paperback reads for January, and I'm loving it. So, yeah, dude, I don't know what happened to Donny Cates. I haven't read too much of Donny Cates stuff, but like that Thor run was my first ever Thor run. I loved it. And I was reading Crossover, and I was loving Crossover when it was coming out. And then, yeah, right now I'm reading God Country. That's really good. Seth the Tech says, is there any comics that I liked from Jeff Johns? You know, Jeff Johns is getting a lot of hate right now, like just on the whole internet, I guess. Like a lot of people were hating on Jeff Johns. Um, I think that Jeff John, like, I mean, all his stuff out of Ghost Machine is sick. Like, I, I'm such a, I am such a Junkyard Joe Geiger head. Like, it's not even funny. I think that Rook Exodus is super sick as well. Nothing that's like groundbreaking or there's writers that are maybe doing better stuff than what Jeff Johns is doing, but I mean, you can't deny that the guy grinds and he at least does cool stuff that's entertaining to read. You know what I mean? So I don't know. He gets a lot of too much hate. Derek Seaborn saying awesome series, probably in reference to God Country. Yeah, I'm loving God Country. Scrolling down. What else we got? We got a DCKO tie-in, Galactic Slam. You know, I had someone on my comments. They were trying to argue with me, talking about how the like DC AEW stuff wasn't part of the DCKO, and I'm like, dude, I literally pretty sure it is. Isn't this like AEW people or no? Is that not what this is? Brings the reinforcements. Kyle Rayner brings the cosmic reinforcements as the DCKO tournament rages on Earth. The cosmos holds its collective breath as the heroes of our planet fight for the survival of the very universe. But the cavalry is on the horizon. Kyle Rayner, in a bid to provide cover for his fellow Green Lanterns, has found himself pummeled across the galaxy and into the ring of a wrestling federation. Oh no, oh dear heavens no, is Omega Bam Man about to enter the DCKO fray? Oh my god, an entire cavalcade of brawlers right behind them. Are there tables? Somebody get the tables. So yeah, Anyways, let me know in the comments. Is this the AEW crossover that they've been talking about, or is this something completely different? It reads like it is, and then also the cover. But I'm not a wrestling guy. I don't watch WWE or AEW, so I wouldn't know. But yeah, Set the Text says, "What has been my favorite year one of Marvel or DC? Favorite year one comic of Marvel or DC? I really enjoyed Batman and Robin year one. That's probably my favorite all time year one story from Mark Waid and Chris Samney. That's some excellent stuff." Derek Seaborn saying, "I'm looking forward to Galactic Slam." Yeah, dude, let me know. Is this Galactic Slam the AEW crossover, or is it something different? I have no idea. Anyways, let's keep it going. Psylocke's getting a series, Psylocke and Ninja. This is from Tim Seeley and Nico Leone. That's cool. That's coming out January 21st. We got a Rogue series, a Rogue little series from Erica Schultz and Luigi Zagaria, also on January 21st. So yeah, man, this is what I was talking about. If you guys are into the X-Men, there are a ton of X-Men series always coming out. So yeah. But if you're not reading X-Men like me, I'm not gonna pick up Psylocke. I'm not gonna pick up Rogue, man. Next up, Mighty Morphin. I'm not even gonna read that. I thought that was a Dynamite comic, but I think it's like a smaller indie pub. Bug Wars, the Spider Witch special. All right, so I want to mention this one. This is from writer Jason Aaron and Mohamed Asrar. It's a continuation of the Bug Wars, the excellent series from last year. This one is a little one shot focused on its extra length special as well. This focuses on the kind of Spider Witch sect, the Spider Witch kind of clan in the Bug Wars yard. And they're one of the most fascinating, kind of interesting groups in the series. I'm really glad Jason Aaron's given us a extra length behind the scenes look at this Bug Wars group, and we got some cool covers as well. I think that no Peach Momoko. It's a Tula Latte, which is cool. Uh, Set the Text says, "Do you like when a comic is released every week or every month or every couple months?" Definitely every month. If a series is coming out every week, that's just too much. That's just too much. East Coast Scott. Sorry, I gotta. My wife is texting me. Right, hold on. Already, and I got ice. Sorry, babe. Streaming. Alrighty. Okay. Continuing on. Is it broken? No, it works. Okay, so yeah, Spider Witch. That's gonna be fun. Another DCKO tie-in. The DCKO, the Kids Are All Fight special. So we got John Kent, always wanted to be a Titan when he grew up, but now that he's working alongside them in the effort to evacuate Earth, he didn't think he'd be stuck babysitting young sidekicks. When the kids sneak off to enter the fray and stop Granny Goodness, John will have to show these young heroes the ropes so they can save the day and prove there's no age requirement to being a superhero. And you won't want to miss the shocking finale, written by Jeremy Adams with art from Travis Mercer. January 28th, DCKO, The Kids Are All Fight special. As we see there, Cassandra Cain on the cover. That's pretty cool. Not too sure about this one. Probably going to be skipping out on it. Like I was saying, man, I don't pick up all the DCKO tie-ins. I only pick up the ones that are part of series I was already picking up. I might pick up the odd DCKO tie, like Night Fight I'm picking up, right? But yeah, probably skipping out on that one. Lord of the Rings Empire 69 says, "Marvel is so blah to me. I only pick up Wiccan Witch's Road." And yeah, they're pretty blah to me, man. I feel like that's a hot take nowadays. I feel like more people are picking up Marvel stuff, but I just cannot be bothered. Paul Dev says, "Haven't been interested in DCKO much, but some of these tie-ins sound great." I would say just in general, the tie-ins I've read have been fun. I've been burned so many times with the DCKO events, or sorry, the DC events, right? You don't want to be picking up every single thing. Um, Lord of the Rings Empire 69 says, "I'm actually looking forward to the DC. The Kids Are All Fight DCKO tie-in. Looks like a fun time." That's what I'm saying. Like they're all most likely fun. I think that for me, I think a lot of the one shots have been coming out on the same day on DC Universe Infinite, like the app, right? So For me, it's like, you know, this one's it's $6. The special, the kids are all fight special. It's like you save that $6. I'd rather put that to an Image comic or another DC comic, right? It just depends. It just depends for these one shots. A little tricky. We do know, to cap it all off, there are a couple more series that I wanted to mention. Let's see. None of these. The only one, there's only two more guys we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about DC's Supergirl Next Door. This is a brand new, Supergirl series. Obviously, trying to get ready for the movie and stuff like that. But this is going to be a giant. It looks like it's a one shot. Um, oh, it's for Valentine's Day. Okay, cool, cool. Place it on the shelf next to all the books you've loved before. Nathan Fairbairn. A lot of different, probably packed full of a bunch of different stories. Probably like an anthology kind of thing, right? So most likely the getting ready for Valentine's Day and getting ready for the Supergirl movie as well. So if you're into anthologies, might want to pick this one up. Comes out on January 28th. And then, of course, the last comic we're talking about today for the new series that are starting in January, we got to mention Iron Man, dude. Iron Man #1 comes out on January 28th from Joshua Williamson, Carmen Carnero. And this is going to be a brand new Iron Man series, a brand new #1, brand new volume. The unapologetic Iron Man is a once in a lifetime hero, but the beating heart behind the armor is a once in a century genius. Years ago, Tony Stark was knocking on death's door, so he created the Iron Man armor to survive. What happens the next time death comes calling? What weapon does he create then? What if someone else creates it first? These questions have haunted Tony for years, a ticking time bomb inside of him waiting to explode. Femme Fatale Madame Mask has also asked these questions, and with the power of advanced idea mechanics behind her, she's ready to create the next great weapon. So this is crazy, man. This is Josh Williamson, who's been doing some really great stuff over at DC, doing some really great stuff over on the G.I. Joe corner of the Energon universe too. Josh Williamson is really just impressing me. I would say like 2 years ago, if you asked me like if I was a fan of Josh Williamson, I'd probably say, you know what I mean? Which is probably a hot take, but I was not a big fan of his Batman run. I was like, it's kind of okay. His Batman and Robin stuff was okay, you know. But definitely his Superman title has really kind of opened my eyes to how cool Josh Williamson can be, and his like love and appreciation of all things comic books definitely comes across the page. So yeah, Josh Williamson, you're impressing me, man, and you might get me to pull my first ever Iron Man title. I picked up that #1 from Spencer Ackerman, the last volume. No, I wasn't a big fan of it. Ended up dropping it. But yeah, this could be my first ever Iron Man title, dude. So wouldn't that be a crazy way to start the year, man? But yeah. Paul Dev says, did I see the reveal of the Absolute Batman 17 cover? No, I didn't. I'll have to look that up as soon as I finish recording. That sounds pretty interesting. Lord of the Rings Empire 69 says, man, even the movie can't make me care about Supergirl. She never appeared to me much for some reason. Actually, I'm surprised DC isn't doing one of their goody Valentine's Day anthologies. You know, I would read Supergirl Woman tomorrow and see if that changes your opinion on Supergirl. That series kind of opened up to me kind of the tragic nature of Supergirl, and it kind of colored in like some more layers for me about the Supergirl characters. I'd recommend that. See if that opens up your opinions on Supergirl. And yeah, dude, that'll do it for the comic book series that are starting in January that I think you guys should know about. Obviously, I'd really appreciate it if you like the video. Leave a comment down below and let me know what you're excited about reading in the month of January. And while you're down there, hype if you want. I guess hyping really helps out channels that are around this size. Like I guess they have a multiplying effect and they really help out. So yeah, man, appreciate all the love and support. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the pull list going over that, talking about some of the comic books that came out last week that I wanted to review, like Endgame, Escape, the Ultimates 19, right? And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed talking about the new comic book series that are starting in January. A lot of cool stuff coming. A lot of one shots as well, but that's just the nature of things, man. And yeah, I'll catch you guys next Monday for New Comic Book Weekly around the same time, 4 p.m. Have a lot of cool videos coming to you guys. This Thursday, I've got a video that's like, uh, Friday is gonna be Saturday's the room tour. Friday, I'm talking about my 2026 reading goals. So stay tuned for that. And yeah, man, really appreciate all the love and support. Thank you guys for coming out and joining the stream. Derek Seaborn, of course, Lord of the Rings Empire, Paul Dev, as always, got East Coast Scott, and Set the Tech, of course. A lot of love and support. Biggest Barda, Southside Ronin, loving Chicago always, dude. And yeah, so thank you guys a lot for joining. And yeah, I'll catch you